So, hold up. Go back into art. Hold up. Oh my god, I haven't. Yes. No, you can't even see that. That's wonderful. But, this video is about, well, one, disorders. But not exactly. But it's the overall. Because. So I saw, like, do you know, like, those videos, like the shorts or whatever, that it's guess the disorder thing? Now the thing is, with me, and several disorders just sitting there mixed up in a jar, and I get every single symptom, and the symptoms don't, like, you're not supposed to have this one person with this disorder and another person with another disorder in the same room because things happen. Yeah, imagine that, having the same two disorders in one person. But I want to say something. The main disorder that I've everyone has mentioned it to me. I've been diagnosed with it years ago. But like, people still mention it to me, and it's like, dude, do you think I don't know? Because it's kind of obvious that I have OCD. Now I have multiple types. It annoys me when people call them types because once you look it up, it's the same thing. It's one thing. Yes, it's counted as different types, but it's overall. Like, I don't understand you people that do different types because it's literally just overall. Maybe you have some symptoms, maybe you don't. You still have OCD. Don't diagnose yourself. Don't. No. So the disorder was OCD. And people started commenting, this isn't OCD. OCD is, the exact comment was OCD is organizing and can't stand messes. And then another person commented, the girl showed nothing. This video has nothing. She didn't do anything that involved organizing. I'm like, you do understand you can't show everything a disorder has in a short amount of time. Not saying OCD doesn't have anything to do with organization, because that is the main point of OCD. Someone else said, all OCD has. This isn't OCD because all it has is organization and can't stand messes. The video showed everything else except those two things. And then people are like, it's either OCD or anxiety. And I'm like, you do realize OCD is a type of anxiety disorder. Adding on to the fact, whatever you do with OCD, it makes your anxiety worse. I'm sorry, but you people don't understand what I have to deal with every single day of my life. It's not fun, okay? We're going to move that. We're going to move that. I can't even talk today. Obsessive whatever disorder, OCD, features a pattern of unwanted thoughts and fears, obsessions that lead you to repetitive behaviors, like doing things over and over again, like me. These obsessions and compulsions and fear with daily activities and cause significant distress. And I've never shared this before, but I've had panic attacks just because of this. Straight up. We were doing our last choir performance of the year, this year, and something happened and I tried ignoring it. And what did that lead to? Oh, let's just say I quote unquote cried. I died. Straight up. And I still have the whole entire memory in my brain. It's torture. You may try to ignore or stop your obsessions, but that'll only increase your distress and anxiety. Yeah. Ultimately, feel driven to perform acts to try to ease your stress, despite efforts to ignore or get rid of bothersome thoughts or urges. They keep coming back. This leads to, behavior, the vicious cycle of OCD. Bro, we did this, this disorder thing at school, and it was a whole entire NPR full of, different clubs or, the different things. And I, was the first person to get one thing right, and that one thing right was OCD. That was my first, area, but there was, this whole entire crowd, and I was like, oh, I know what this is. This is easy for the first thing. It didn't say organization, it actually said the, unwanted thoughts and fears thing. It's quote-unquote counted as multiple, but it's the video also showed having to lock doors and all of that, and you can't do anything or else something bad will happen. My thought process isn't about something bad will happen. It's about the long run of it. Of if I don't do something, not necessarily something bad will happen, just the long run. And mainly at this point, again, it's not something bad will happen. It's just the fears of going back to my childhood of what happened. Of leaving the front door unlocked. When I was younger, my brother, he was smoking, of course. But there was this whole thing about it. And he would go outside in the middle of the night with his friends and come back and no one will lock the door. His friends would walk inside the house and not lock the door. Well, one morning, we had brother over and one of his friends that we knew for a while. Well, he left the door unlocked, and at 3 a.m. his girlfriend walked in our house. Correction, his ex-girlfriend walked in our house and got in my older sister's face. Which, here's the front door, here's my older sister's bedroom door, and she heard it. So she walked out and said, get the fuck out, and she won it. Reminding you, we had school the next morning. This was years ago, and we still had bunk beds and all of that. This is when Shannon and I was still living in the same room. It's the visual representative, because we got told to go back. We went out because we woke up by yelling out. My brother was in his hallway of his bedroom. The friend of that ex-girlfriend was on her stairs screaming at the ex-girlfriend. My mom was outside of her room, which is the hallway. So here's my room. There's a long hallway to my brother's. Now it's Shannon's room. And then another long hallway to my mom's room, and then another out to my older sister's room, but Caitlin wasn't home at the time. But right here, you walk out and there's the downstairs, and then you turn and then downstairs again, and then over here's the door, and then my older sister's room. That made no sense. If my other videos show other things, but we walked outside of our room, and then we got told to go back. And the fact is, what's creepy is that the fight has been going on for about 45 minutes now, and this lady is still in our house. It did get physical, but this lady is still in our house. Short story short, we get told to go back to bed. I don't know what time we fall asleep, but then again, we wake up at 7:49 again with the lady in our house again. Short story short, she ended up leaving because cops got called. The door got locked, and my brother ended up going back outside with his friends, coming in, not locking the door, and the situation re-happening. We still live in the same house. My brother doesn't live here and hasn't lived here in years. Let alone he's in a different city than us. Let alone I made a video of like, this is when people ask to meet my brother. And I put it on private for a reason. Like an old friend was like, I want to see your brother. And I was like, no, you do not. And he straight up tried forcing me. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to go find him. I don't even have his number. It got to a point I still have 3 contacts of him that's no longer his number that says his name, Kyle. And then only for emergencies, because at one time we got permission to have his number for only for emergencies. And then one time he called me from it. And I wasn't allowed to hang up the phone for over 8 hours sitting here clicking Roblox. He's like, what are you clicking? I was like, it's like whenever we had a friend over, he was like, who's this, who's that? It's like, okay, so you do this to everyone in this house, but we can't ask a simple question. Who's this? As 8-year-olds wanting to know the boy that comes over to the house. Creepy, first off. But then again, him freaking our friends out and ending 4 different relationships. Yeah, one of my the person that wanted to go find my brother and meet him again. Yeah, my brother ended the friendship between me and then his younger sister because she got sent home by CPS. Because he started the fight. Yeah, she had to put my older sister's back in place. We're gonna stop talking about that. But the short story short, he has schizophrenia. But the short story short, OCD is a real thing. Now, I have a minute left, so I'm just gonna end it because this just took a turn. Yeah. Well, goodbye, people. I don't even know. Yeet. Also, Roblox is. I'm getting bored of it. But then I get addicted and then I get bored of it again. I don't even know. Goodbye.